So I think a lot of people are going to like this one. Amazon is actually getting sued as of just about a week ago for allegedly misleading customers into thinking that they are going to own a movie or TV show when they purchase it from Amazon Prime. If you really talk to anybody about something like this on the internet, the sentiment is usually very clear that the big businesses that allegedly do this, that allegedly kind of mislead you into thinking that you own a product that you don't, well, there's really not much sympathy for them. Obviously, now it just comes down to, did Amazon actually mislead its customers, or can that be proven in court? Obviously, I don't have the answer to that today. It looks like that will be answered in front of a jury. So, as I said, this was filed just about a week ago, August 21st, and surprisingly, I really have not heard many people or really anybody talk about this basically since this has happened, which is surprising because I think it's definitely quite a big deal, especially if they are found in violation of this, then what this would mean for how they would have to communicate to the buyers that they're not like legitimately 100% owning a product when they digitally buy it, just like you do when you get a DVD. And of course, like, would there be a monetary value that Amazon would have to pay people back on? I don't know. So anyway, we see this here. This is the header. It is somebody by the name of Lisa Reingold. She's the one that started this class action lawsuit against Amazon. So it says, this is a class action suit brought against Amazon.com services for violating the California Digital Property Rights Transparency Law. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but that is very important here. So it says Amazon sells, quote unquote, and rents movies and TV shows on its streaming platform, Amazon Prime. On its website, the defendant, so Amazon, tells consumers that they have the option to buy or purchase digital copies of these audiovisual works. But when customers, quote unquote, buy these digital versions through Amazon's website, they do not obtain the full bundle of sticks of rights. I thought that was a weird way to word that. We traditionally think of as owning property. Instead, they receive, quote, non-exclusive, non-transferable, non-sublicensable, limited license to access the digital audiovisual work, which is maintained at Amazon's sole discretion. So basically, if you are going to buy something, you're not actually going to own it. You're going to kind of own it, but Amazon basically has the right to take that license away. So they use the example of when one buys a hard copy DVD of the director's cut of Django Unchained. I don't know why they decided to use that movie as an example, but they said that when you do that, you own it. You can place the DVD in the shelf below the TV stand and rest assured the DVD will not vanish into thin air with the passage of time. And it says, yeah, if they wish to view the movie 5 or 10 years later, they can plug the DVD into their DVD player. The director's cut of the movie will still play. But it says the same cannot be said for when one, quote unquote, buys Django Unchained on Amazon Prime Video. Because if Amazon loses the rights to the director's cut of the movie, Amazon might replace it with a different cut of the movie, such as the theatrical cut, which has 30 minutes less of footage. And if Amazon loses the rights to the movie altogether, it will disappear from the consumer's digital library. Now, all of this by itself is, I guess I shouldn't say it's fine, but it's legal by itself. But then the important question obviously comes up. Did Amazon, have they been for years now, tricking people into thinking that this is not the case, that you will, no matter what, always own that kind of copy, that digital copy of that movie? I went on to Amazon and I looked up Django Unchained. A solid movie, by the way, fantastic. I hadn't seen the movie at all until 3 years ago, by the way. Fun fact, it came out in 2012. But yeah, absolute banger. It is fantastic. Anyway, you look right here and you see those 3 options at the bottom left there. The middle one says buy movie. That is, I'm assuming, the main point of contestment here. It just says buy movie, and that's kind of all there is to it, at least on the surface level. Now, I'm sure that if I were to click on that, actually go through the steps, maybe there is some, read more information here by clicking here type of option, where it would maybe disclose that. I'm sure Amazon has that. So as long as they do have something like that, then it's really just a question of, is it still considered misleading with kind of what the average consumer sees at first glance? Now, going back to that digital property rights transparency law, it does further go into this. It says this law expands on the restrictions set forth in California's false advertisement laws that make it unlawful for any person doing business in California to make false or misleading advertising claims. It makes it unlawful to, quote, advertise or offer for sale a digital good that a reasonable person would understand to cover an unrestricted ownership in that digital good. Now, that is quite interesting. I actually do think, by the way that they are wording it, that the average consumer would probably think the obvious, that they would just fully 100% own that movie. Like, I'll be completely honest, and people can call me uninformed, but I mean, it is what it is. It kind of brings the point home that the average consumer would maybe think this, because I actually did think that, like, not just having, like, a subscription to Amazon Prime, like, that's obviously different. They remove movies all the time, but I thought that if you just, like, digitally, like, buy a movie on Amazon, or even not just Amazon, but like any kind of platform that lets you buy movies, like YouTube lets you do that, Apple TV lets you do that, I thought that this was just like a 100% guarantee that you would just own that version of it for the rest of your life, no matter what, as long as you have access to your account. It is very interesting, and I didn't really quite understand that they can just remove that at any time, especially when they use the claim that, like, Amazon could lose the license to that movie. Like, again, I always knew that would apply for subscription-based services, but not a service where you are having consumers literally just buy the movie. I didn't know that was possible. So I think overall, this class action lawsuit, I mean, I don't know how much money, if any money, it's trying to get back to these consumers, but the main thing is that I think they want to change up how you are maybe clicking buy on this option on Amazon. Maybe they want Amazon to, like, disclose it more clearly, because it says the plaintiff seeks on behalf of themselves and those similarly situated an injunction to prohibit the defendant, Amazon, from continuing to engage in the false, misleading, and deceptive advertising and marketing practices complained of herein. What that would actually look like realistically, I really don't know. And it also begs the question, like, why is this just on Amazon? As I said, other platforms like YouTube, Apple, a bunch of others, they allow you to purchase movies as well. And if it's kind of the same thing there as with Amazon, where you don't really, like, own the movie, then I don't know. I don't know why Amazon is kind of being singled out here, but maybe there's more to it that I'm not seeing. Maybe Amazon, they don't disclose it allegedly as much as these other platforms, that you're not really buying the product. I don't know. We will see how this whole thing actually shapes up.